Hey, what's up everybody? It's the one and only Astralboobaby. And I hear your requests, I read your responses, and it seems that most of you guys are more interested in me talking about the Downlow phenomenon, which is not new. I keep telling y'all this is not new. AIDS and HIV simply exposed it. This has been going on since forever. And we can get into a multitude of reasons why this is so. But I'm really here to share with you what I've experienced, what I observed, what I still see, and to hopefully educate and make you guys more aware of what is going on, and to offer solutions to change this tide, because a lot of us are looking at the symptoms, but we're not looking at the root of the problem. And I like to look at the root of the problem. And when I point out the root of the problem, trust me, it's not going to go along with the popular narratives, because as we see, the popular narratives ain't working. And it's not changing and making anything better. Now, I wanted to do this video to share with you what another associate, I wouldn't call this person a friend, this was an associate who would confide in me. This was a person who lived as openly gay. He was also HIV positive. Now, by all outward appearance, you never would have guessed either. This was a quote-unquote normal looking, normal acting brother who loved men. But let me tell you something he confided in me, or he told me years ago. And again, remember, I have the gift of discernment. I can tell when someone is lying and when someone is being truthful. Everything that I'm going to share with you is what he told me, and I ran it through my filters. He was not lying at all. This is a male celebrity. He's pretty much a household name, especially in the African American community. He is an actor. He's done and probably still doing some things behind the scene. He is what we would call a very attractive, very good-looking guy. He was at the peak of his success, I would say about the early to mid-90s. He had some success in the 2000s, but like I said, the peak of his success thus far has been in the 90s. And again, he is what we would call a sex symbol. Women loved him. So what this brother wanted to share with me and brag about, which is really sad when you hear it, he was telling me that there was a convention in downtown Washington, D.C. He did security for a special event that celebrities were involved in. And this particular celebrity that I'm talking about, who I am not going to mention, I do not out anyone. They will eventually out themselves. So I don't do that. I don't get into outing, but you guys, hey, you can draw your own conclusions. Anyway, this particular actor was at this convention where this associate that I'm talking about was at. So he said he was starstruck and thought this guy looked even better in person or what have you. So he said he just struck up a small conversation with him after he did like a meet and greet or what have you. He made a small conversation with him and they were just talking. So he said this actor said to him, "Hey, what you doing later on? I really like your talk, like the conversation. Why don't you come on, come up later? I'm not doing nothing later. You can come up, we can just chill." So the associate that I'm talking about was thrilled. He couldn't believe that this famous, good-looking guy is inviting him to come up to his hotel room. He told him the room number and everything. He got off from work and he went up to this person's hotel room. He said they were talking and one thing led to another, and this actor began making moves on him and he couldn't believe it. So he said he just kind of went along with it. And the next thing he knew, they were making out and they ended up having sex. He said this actor penetrated him. He was talking about how well endowed this actor was, and so on and so forth, and how good he was and how passionate he was. So he said that after they finished, he asked him, out of all the people you could have picked, why would you pick me? I mean, you can pretty much have anybody you want. Why me? Why me? Now listen to what he said, this actor said to him. He said, I pick you because if you ran your mouth, who would believe you? Really just let that simmer. He basically told him what he wanted to know, but he was also insulting him, but he was also speaking the truth. Now let me tell you why he was speaking the truth. This brother looked totally normal in all sense of what we physically define as a straight black man. Like, you would never sense that this guy was gay. The Downlow actor picked up on it because they know each other. They know what to look for. They know the signs. So he saw him for what he really was. But this guy was short. He was a little on the overweight side. He was on a very dark-skinned side. And again, that colorism that's rampant. And it was really rampant back then in the black community, where a lot of darker shade people of color were more so rejected over those who are of fair skin. His teeth were not in the best of shape. He was missing teeth. He had crooked teeth. This was a below average looking guy by most people, I would say by most people's standards. So he's essentially telling him, basically, yeah, I wanted to get off, but I want to get off on somebody that I know that if they ran their mouth, no one would believe him. Now, I knew he wasn't lying, but he was telling me how when he told other people, nobody believed him, just as he said. Now, I wanted to share this story because, number one, that brother was HIV positive. This actor had unprotected sex with this guy who was HIV positive, and I'm sure he didn't disclose it, and that discussion was never had. And this actor, like a lot of them, they sleep with their fans. They had groupies. And a lot of times people who are starstruck, they're not thinking to use a condom. As a matter of fact, a lot of them, especially women, are not looking to use condoms because they're trying to get pregnant to get a come up. They're not thinking that this actor that everyone is fiending over and fawning over and everybody wants to get with, or a rapper. I got a story about rappers and R&B. Hey, I told y'all, I got stories and I got some personal experiences of my own. So I'm kind of setting the stage for the really meaty stuff, okay? There are a lot of fans, groupies out there who are going through great lengths to have sex with celebrities, and these celebrities are people just like everybody else. They deal with life issues. The only difference is they're in the spotlight and they are just simply getting more attention and making more money for what they do versus everyone else. That's the only difference. So they had issues, vices, they're hiding secrets, they're doing things just as much, if not more, than the average person, because again, celebrities and people with a lot of wealth and power and access, they simply tend to do more than the average person because they have it in abundance. So the next time you quick to lay up with that celebrity with no condom, just think about what I've just shared with you. All that glitters is not gold, and you best believe there are famous people who have HIV and AIDS and they will never disclose it, but they're still out there wildly and loosely and recklessly sleeping with groupies and fans. That's all I want to share with you guys. Get this video up to a nice number. Share it. All right. Stay tuned. Hit that subscription button, and I'll talk to y'all the next time around.